Persuasion is a part of our daily lives, and often in ways we don't even notice. If you've ever found yourself deeply convinced by an essay, hooked on an ad on TV, or pitching an idea at work, then you've ran into the art of persuasion. In this video, we're going to explore three key concepts from Aristotle: ethos, pathos, and logos, and look at how these three principles can help deepen our understanding of persuasion and boost our abilities to share and communicate ideas more effectively. In my software engineering career, persuasion has been a key skill that I use quite often, whether introducing a new concept to the team or advocating for certain projects. However, despite some ideas having clear benefits, I haven't always been very good at convincing others to adopt them. One memorable example was when I was suggesting improving our software quality by shifting from manual tests to automated testing. This method, while initially requiring more upfront work, can result in fewer bugs in the future and also has a quicker testing cycle. Also, it's scalable as the team and project grows. And it's not a new idea, it aligns with software industry best practices. However, convincing the team and stakeholders of it proved to be a massive challenge. Their concerns range from the initial effort required for setting up automated tests to the QA team's worried about how automation might affect their own roles, which is understandable. And ultimately, my proposal was rejected. Looking back at it now, I wondered whether a different approach could have better addressed the team's concerns and highlighted the long-term advantages of test automation. And as always, these reflections open up a much broader interest in the theory of persuasion and how we could do it more effectively. Aristotle, who lived from 384 BC to 322 BC, believed that persuasion required more than just making logical arguments. He advocated that to communicate effectively with others, you need to understand and appeal to the person's full spectrum of experience. This includes their ethical value, emotional states, and logical reasoning. Together, this all helps to make your message not only be heard, but also felt and understood. In his book Rhetoric, Aristotle systematically explores the human elements important for effective persuasion and introduces three key ideas. Ethos, which is about being credible and trustworthy. Pathos, which means using emotions to connect. And logos, which involves using reason and logic. Ethos is about establishing trust and credibility. Aristotle pointed out that we're more likely to listen to someone we see as knowledgeable and trustworthy. So by showing your expertise and acting with honesty, you can make your audience more open to your message. Ethos works because it taps into social psychology, where deep down, we tend to follow the lead of experts and authorities, especially when we're not sure what to do. However, expertise alone isn't enough. We need to also trust that the information provided is true and that the person has our best interests at heart. To apply ethos to your message, you can begin by sharing your background and achievements in a way that's directly related to your topic. You can also incorporate life stories or examples to demonstrate your ethical judgment and character. This approach not only humanizes you, but also strengthens the trust with your audience. Finally, being consistently honest and transparent in your communication can reinforce your credibility. Acknowledging what you don't know or obstacles that you've overcome can further deepen that trust. As an example, imagine a seminar on sustainable technologies. The speaker starts by detailing their decade-long involvement in developing eco-friendly solutions. They don't just stop listing success stories, they also discuss the hurdles, such as opting for sustainable materials despite the higher cost or inconvenience. This approach doesn't just underline their expertise in green technology, it also reflects their dedication to ethical choices. Pathos is about creating an emotional connection with your audience. Aristotle recognizes that our decisions are often driven by emotions rather than logic. So an emotional appeal to people's feelings and values can make your message more relatable and memorable. Pathos works because humans are inherently emotional beings. Our decisions, attitudes, and beliefs are often influenced by our feelings, and sometimes even more than logical reasoning. So a speaker who can stir those feelings, whether it be joy, anger, fear, or empathy, can create a stronger and more meaningful connection. To use pathos in your communication, you can start by understanding your audience's values and concerns. Tailor your message to reflect these by using stories, anecdotes, and vivid imagery that invokes the desired emotional response. Also, emphasize the human aspect of your message. Share personal experiences, or use hypothetical situations that invite your audience to imagine themselves in a particular scenario. This can result in making your audience feel something deep, transforming a simple message into an experience. Consider a charity event aimed at raising awareness of its cause. The speaker shares a heartfelt story about individuals that their charity has supported, and in particular, the challenges they faced and the positive transformations they had. The speaker uses images, videos, and storytelling to paint a vivid picture of despair, hope, and gratitude experienced by those that were helped. This approach of using powerful visuals and emotional narratives helps ensure the audience not only understand the charity's mission, but also has a deep connection to it. Logos centers on appealing to the audience's sense of reason through logical argument and evidence. Aristotle highlighted that by having well-structured arguments, supported by facts and logical reasoning, can help convince and persuade the audience. Logos works because we all want to understand things clearly and make smart decisions. So when an argument is logical and supported by real evidence, it fits in with our natural way of thinking and how we analyze information. Also, in situations where emotions or bias might lead us astray, Logos gives us a clear path to follow. To apply Logos in your communication, you can begin by clearly outlining your main arguments or points. Ensure that your message is organized and has a logical flow to it that makes it easy for the audience to follow. Use relevant facts, statistics, and concrete examples to support your argument. It's also important to anticipate and address any counter-arguments, which will demonstrate you as being well-informed and logical. Be precise in your language and definitions to avoid ambiguity. The goal here is to leave little room for doubt in the minds of your audience, convincing them of your argument through strength and coherence of your reasoning. Imagine a presentation aimed at promoting new educational technology for schools. The speaker starts by identifying existing gaps in education, using data to demonstrate how conventional teaching methods aren't capturing the students' attentions. They introduce this new technology as a solution and provide statistics from a pilot program that saw higher student engagement, better test scores, and positive feedback. The speaker also addresses potential concerns such as the costs involved and the need for extra teacher training. They conduct a cost-benefit analysis, demonstrating that the advantages of improved learning outcomes and lower education material far exceeds the upfront costs. This logical approach not only addresses the financial worries, but also emphasizes the long-term values and efficiency of using the new technology. While ethos, pathos, and logos each has their unique strength, they're most powerful when combined. When used together, they can create a compelling and well-rounded message that appeals to both the minds and hearts of your audience. Let's look at a couple of examples. In 1997, Apple launched its Think Different campaign, a strategic move under Steve Jobs' leadership that highlighted the company's innovative ethos. The TV advertisement featured prominent figures such as Einstein and Martin Luther King Jr. And this taps into pathos by drawing out feelings of admiration and inspiration from the audience. The slogan, Think Different, encourages people to view Apple products as a tool to unlock their creativity. The logos here is that by choosing Apple, you can have enhanced creativity and productivity. St. Jude's advertisement also uses the three key approaches to connect with its viewers. First, it established its credibility or ethos by highlighting its well-known reputation as a trusted healthcare provider, and it features many famous actors who endorses them. Second, the ad uses pathos by sharing touching stories of young patients. These stories aim to make the viewers feel empathy and connect emotionally with the hospital's mission. And lastly, the advertisement uses logos by presenting statistics on improved survival rates to demonstrate the real positive impact that St. Jude has on healthcare. Reflecting on my experience with proposing the software testing changes, I realized my approach was heavily focused on logos, relying on just logical arguments. I could have used ethos and shared stories of when automated testing worked well for me in the past. It also would have helped to mention success cases from other well-known companies, or even brought in an expert in automation testing to talk to us, all of which would have made my suggestions seem more reliable. To better connect with the QA team, I could have used Pathos and talked about how automated testing could actually make their jobs better and allow them to work on new and more challenging tasks. By sharing positive stories of people who grew in their career by switching to automated testing might have helped them feel more excited and less scared about the changes. You can also use ethos, pathos, and logos in everyday life. For example, to help convince your friends to go and see a movie with you. You can begin with ethos by establishing trust, saying something like, "I always pick great movies." Next, you can engage in pathos to connect emotionally, perhaps suggesting that this movie is really touching and fun and it'd be a great time for both of us. And lastly, you can apply logos with logical reasoning and perhaps point out that the movie has some excellent reviews online and comes from one of our favorite directors. This approach is a well-rounded argument that taps into your friend's trust, emotions, and logic. And I suspect that even if you didn't know about ethos, pathos, and logos beforehand, you're probably doing something along this line already. It's important to remember that persuasion isn't about manipulating people. It's about effectively communicating in a way that inspires action and builds connections. Thank you again for watching, and I'll talk to you later.